Well, we're getting on to map. The chat has been smurfed. They tricked me. I fell for a snafu, and I started the game a little early as Sinatra pretended to be Grim Reality. Well done by him. Both teams will face off here in the courtyard early on. I really want to watch the Tracer battle. I think Agilities is a very good Tracer. I think he's a better Genji lately, but Agilities gets Iman right away.
Agilities piling on. It's a good opening here from Immortals, and they're able to push Selfless back. And don't forget that Immortals did, in the last monthly melee, have an incredible group stage day, fueled off of Agilities having one of the best days of Overwatch we've ever seen. So Agilities does have that in him, but Selfless, they're relentless. They lost one, and now they're coming right back into the point hex with a decent approach. But losing to Fran, that hurts.
Oh, Ethan's going to have to be fending for himself a lot, too, because he's going to face constant pressure as the Zenyatta in this composition, and that's a good start for him there to able to headshot the incoming Tracer. They're still poking around here. They force Verbo to use a sound barrier.
Sound barrier comes out from Immortals, and they're still okay with this, but they were getting kills off the sound barrier, which makes it worse. In comes Sinatra, drops a grab, and drops death and destruction all over Immortals. So that will be a retake here from Selfless. They did have to burn both barrier and graviton for it, so it's not the worst for Immortals, but they do want to come back in immediately. That said, look at Kresnik.
Well, Kresnik has been a hero. Do you think the response to how Selfless plays is to be aggressive on them when they do lose one or two? Because it seems like they do lose one or two and teams just give them all the space in the world to sit around.
Well, they still posture like they have six.
Right.
They play like they have six people, so you're right. You could just have this perspective that they're treating you like a bear and just trying to counter-intimidate you or something, when actually they're weak and you can deal with it. Although, bears aren't weak, they would mess you up. So
it depends on the kind of bear. Black bears are nothing. Like, you could scare a black bear away with a bell. Like, come on.
Yeah, but if it actually wanted to harm you, either way, here comes the Earth Shatter from Kresnik, knocks down one, forces out the Transcendence. Immortals will stay very healthy and alive here. In comes the Self-Destruct to the back. Is it going to connect? It does! Emong and Sinatra, you're out of here. Immortals, they're in. They're going to recap this point.
Struck out, and that's kind of the moments we're going to have to see from Immortals. And we talk about Agilities can be a carry. Also, Immortals, when they're playing really well, is when Hyped has giant moments like that. An old school diva, the original, one of the original divas, as I called him, who even played her back before she was very powerful. He knows all the angles. He knows all the self-destructs. And if you can get some of those, they're going to be, it's one of the best chances Immortals has to take games off Selfless.
Nomi leads the way with the dive on Winston, able to back out without getting bopped right away, and Agilities pops right in, pulse bomb in, and takes down Michael 3D. It's a brilliant opening, and he wasted no time after building that up.
It seems like they're taking strategy pages out of the Selfless book. DeFran comes in, tries the miracle pulse bomb, eats a helix for his troubles. And right now, nearing 70, and probably 80% by the next time these teams fight. Immortals, I think, is surprising a couple people. I'm a little surprised.
I'm very surprised right now, especially given what we saw from Immortals just a few sets ago, so much better opening here. In comes the Nano Boost on the Sinatra. He has a Graviton, doesn't want to donate it here to Hype, so a little bit of mind games, but there comes a grab, picks up Verbo, and it's enough. Selfless will counter push back in, and Hex, let me pause at a question to you here. Do you think that part of this comes from the idea that Immortals is just weak against Pharah, and that's why they're matching up better against Selfless than they did against CLG?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Immortals has always been weak against Pharah, and that's why I was not real surprised when they lost to CLG. They just don't really put Grim on the McCree anymore, for whatever reason that may be, and I think Grim 76 is okay, but I don't think it's the god tier from a distance Pharah, and CLG plays a very safe Pharah a lot of the time, and their hydration stays alive more than any other Pharah.
It's been an admirable showing here from Moro so far, but this is still a fight they need to win. Sound barriers and no kills coming here just yet. Not getting the poke they need. Selfless able to rope a dope, and Grim Reality just gets attached from the back from a pulse bomb. DeFran, not done yet, looking for Zen. Dodges out of the right click, but the rest of Selfless moving in from the front, putting Immortals in a terrible position. And Immortals, they can't back out here, Hex. It's do or die. Overtime is in progress. They must find a way of flipping this back, but the kills simply not going in their favor.
Agilities will get one, but the Earthshatter comes in on the point. Everyone else is down. Nomi's going to try to bring this back, but he is all by his lonesome. The wick is burning halfway down as the remainder is cleaned up. Agilities was staying alive just to try to delay a little bit, but a valiant effort from Immortals ends with Selfless taking the first stage.
That's tough. If there was a round Immortals was going to win, it was looking like it would be that one, and even still, Selfless finding a way of powering through, and gotta say, just credit where credit is due with Defrand finding his man, isolating out Grim Reality in that final fight. Big deal in making that go Selfless's way.
I think Agility needs to sit on Defran a little bit more if they're going to go into this Tracer v Tracer, because Defran just being annoying in the back, and he's kind of forcing Ethan and Grim Reality to play his game as opposed to the other way around. And at the end there, him killing Grim with the Pulse Bomb actually, I think, made the biggest difference. And then Agility's went for a really aggressive Pulse Bomb, but it missed like 4 people, so I think he needs to play more Defran duty.
Alright, well, Selfless moving back out here once more, and Agility's going on the Pharah, so you'd arguably think the way these teams have played, that'd be better for Selfless to give it an attempt here just because of Immortals' weaknesses, but instead Immortals trying to master their weaknesses by using them themselves. Agility's looking for Pharah value here, and Immortals doing an okay job of holding things back. They have control on the point here, but you gotta expect Selfless is gonna deep dive here sooner rather than later.
Well, Grim does put some pressure on behind them, so it does make them flip around a little bit. That confuses Michael enough that Agilities is able to land that rocket, so half of the healing now down for Selfless. And a nice opening here for Immortals. They look for more. That is a good cleanup, though. Nomi now out of the mix, very back and forth.
It's back and forth, but Immortals does feel to be in a bit of driver's seat here. No one is on Agilities, and he is laying in the rockets. Good positioning, Grim there for the cleanup, and this will be a first point take for Immortals. Take, not tank. They absolutely did not tank. Not yet, anyways.
Oh, they haven't grabbed it yet. And given how Selfless plays, they might just throw some people on at this point to prevent the cap. There it is. They actually start putting some time on this. Agility's looking for the spam over the top. Let's see if any switches come out here. I don't necessarily think they have to switch, but if Defran has like a little bit of a rough life, maybe he goes to 76, put a little more pressure on Agilities, because right now Agilities is playing however he wants. Doesn't have to be defensive at all.
The entire sky is his kingdom right now, Hex, and the barrage is up, and this is actually an area where it could be a very good barrage. Comes in over the top, waiting, drops it, slept, and probably eliminated. There it is. Michael 3D not having any of Agility stuff, but Agility's able to get resurrected back in. Immortals, this fight is not over just yet, but certainly more momentum on the side of Selfless. They drop the Graviton and get the follow-through.
Everyone was very low there. Ethan will fall as well, so most of the kills coming out for Selfless right now. Just trying to clean up the last of this point. Hype will put a bomb on there to make them think twice about it. Now Grim Reality has notions of maybe bringing this back. He's 1v3, and he gets Lucio down, but now some good stall coming out as they send Verbo in for a couple more seconds. Here comes Nomi, just buying time.
And this is where Immortals know that they're almost certainly not going to bring it back, barring just some crazy play, but they can stall this out for a significant period of time. I don't know about the barrage given the nature of the setup as we were just describing it, but in either case, it's still in Immortals' control, and they've so far bought an extra 20% as Verbo is back in to die once more.
Dancing on the walls, Grim is back in there, he will die once more again. Here comes Nomi. It is just a parade. It's like they're just sending each pinball in one after another, and they get it up to 80%.
If there were blood effects in Overwatch, those walls would be splattered with Verbo's blood right now, with how many times he came back in the delay and died, but it works out well for Immortals. They get plenty of progress and arguably one fight away from taking this, so Selfless now tasked with being near perfect as they go forward, which easier said than done. Earth Shatter connecting, moving in for this fight. Selfless sound barriering in return, moving back in, and they pick off 2 kills. Grim finds Sinatra, but it's already gonna be rough, but hey, 2 kills from Grim. He's making his way through.
I think you res right now. There it is. 4-person res, beautifully done. All the ults that already came out from Selfless didn't really get that much. The Earth Shatter solo ult to D.Va, he didn't even die from it. Now Agilities with the double barrage, and Immortals, king of the point right now.
That is how you take the point decisively without dealing with any nonsense delay tactics from the other team. Selfless now stuck with having to move back in without a lot of positioning. Sinatra gets domed! Agilities from long range removes him from the fight, and this is going from bad to worse here for Selfless as they struggle to retake.
Well, it's because nothing can pressure him from long range. What is stopping Agilities from just popping up over the bridge every time and throwing 4 rockets down hoping for the best?
A conscience? I don't know. There's really nothing there that will stop him with what they're running. Agilities, though, fine stack early on, and Immortals piling on in what does appear to be a compositional mismatch. Selfless, late Graviton comes in, not going to be enough.
Yeah, Sound Barrier will keep everyone alive, and for the first time, Selfless does play fast and loose with ultimates. Part of their style, totally get it. Immortals responded great to it, because of that solo shatter came down, that sound barrier, they even disengaged and scattered off of the sound barrier that Selfless was trying to use, and then they just came back in, 4-man res, cleaned up, didn't relinquish the point after that moment.
Well, the 2 rounds that Selfless has lost have been to Fire Mercy when they've decided to go triple tank Tracer.
They're also not hitting value Gravitons. Like, we're talking about how good Sinatra is, but they're dumping a lot of resources into him in terms of nano boosts and obviously protecting him, but I think he's averaged like 1 person per Grav the entire series, or at least this map rather. So it's not helping them, but I mean, again, they're just kind of letting Agilities do whatever he wants. I think Verbo got a lot of environmental kills, Agility's got a few environmental kills, and they're just like, okay, whatever, we don't want to run Diva.
You see, Flame, it is the abundance of wealth that Sinatra has that makes him not appreciate every Graviton. When you get a Graviton every fight, sometimes you just throw them away without appreciating what they can do. Either way, Selfless moving back in once more. Sinatra very charged up, finishing off what him and Defran were on. And 65, and it's a pretty good engage to start things out.
Yeah, it's very nice for them to be able to take out Agilities, who, as I mentioned, is such a key part of whatever composition Immortals is running. So now that the hook is off the field, it gives everyone a lot of chase potential. They're going to go in here, just start throwing down some bombs. We'll grab first control rather easily off of the 1 kill.
Sometimes 1 kill is all you need, and Immortals, they get shell-shocked when they lose someone early. They are a team that is prone to retreating. They're basically the polar opposite of Selfless when Selfless has a friend to go down. That said, Nomi falls down early, and again, look at Immortals. As soon as 1 person falls, they immediately start backing out. Selfless, by contrast, when 1 person falls, they act like he never died in the first place.
You need to have the mix of the two, because you can't retreat like this every fight. It used to be Liquid's problem, where they'd lose 1 and just call it A, go all the way back to spawn. Liquid has found the balance between when to engage down and when to retreat down, and right now, Immortals, as soon as something goes bad for them, they are just out of it. I think they're banking on an alt fight here.
That certainly seems to be the plan as they move in. Nomi, Earthshatter is up and at the ready, gonna have to deal with Kresnik, but looking for his opportunity to drop it. Meanwhile, Immortals still slowly moving forward, but there comes Sinatra, drops a Grav in over the top, and the Big Bang ruins Immortals' day. They don't have to worry about retreating their Hex because they're all dead.
That was a beautiful Graviton. It grabbed, I think, nearly everyone, if not everyone, and at least 5. Follow-up was there, can't ask for anything better.
Flame, how much does he owe you for coaching there?
I think he was tilted by me even saying anything.
Well, there you go. Kresnik holding on to Earthshatter, and Ethan goes down early, and Immortals, again, immediately retreating after the loss of Ethan, which isn't necessarily bad in this case. I think they only have 1 fight to begin with, but what a hook. Fishes for Emon, grabs him, but the Earthshatter goes into nothing, and that Earthshatter does not. Kresnik getting more out of his shatters as Immortals still pushed back.
Just been the value that they're getting out of their ultimates has been so much better. Now it's time to just go after it. Hyped cannot die here. He does. He dies with Grav. That's brutal.
Graviton not going to be a factor here, at least from Immortals. A Selfless Sinatra already going to have another Graviton back up. Drops it probably just for hubris at that point. It's another 1-man Grav, but I think it's a respectable 1-man Grav under the circumstances.
And they had the setup, but Hype did not look through the hallway. He got hooked by the flanking Emong there. The Grav stayed in his pocket, and they weren't able to pulse bomb grab that. I think even if they were, I think there was a support ult they could have gotten out of that too. That was pretty one-sided.
That was some pretty decent caster cursing there, heck. Hype can't die there, Walt.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I saw him
He
getting
shouldn't
low.
die there.
Yeah, it was
really
bad.
good too. Like, Grim took a 1v1 with the Fran, the two of them just kind of, you know, taking the Pride Tracer matchup. Grim Reality 1 had Pulse Bomb ready, and he was probably like, alright, let's go. And Hex ruined his life.
Here comes Immortals' 4th different lineup so far. Now Agility's finally on Genji. They're gonna try at everything.
I don't know why they wouldn't just go back to the Fire Mercy on this stage.
Yeah, Selfless did not look good against the Fair Mercies, so I do feel there's something to be said for the idea of run something until a team proves they can beat it. It's almost FGC logic 101, but in Immortals' case, they're gonna let things ride on the Genji, which is fine for Agility. He's great on it here. And wow, just getting right in on Sinatra. Sinatra lucky to get healed up and alive. Michael 3D on point. And Selfless, they're healed up. They're bringing this right back.
That is fearless play from Agilities to get all the way in there, but still pretty bloodless so far. Grim is going to get a pack. He got very low right now. Still no one getting picked off just yet. The point does open up. It seems like Selfless might just give this up. Nope, they step on the point.
Just in time. Immortals playing the objective, but Nomi falling could make things tough. Hyped getting demeched and Selfless just piling on. Agilities, oh no!
Okay.
Dragon Blade comes out late, not able to get what he's looking for. And that's unfortunate because now they won't have it for the retake, and Selfless will certainly grab this point.
I mean, rarely do I say that you can't play Genji against just a Zarya, because if it's just the Zarya, fine, you can avoid her or whatnot, but how Sinatra's been playing on the Zarya, his tracking, his general charge for the most part, becomes very difficult, because one of the best things about Genji is deflect, and if he has been just constantly being avoiding Zarya, there's a grab in the corner, actually, no one's avoiding that.
The Graviton comes in, the follow through, not overly there, but it's enough. They get 2 kills off it, sound barriers in, and that's a signal to go. Selfless diving even deeper, making the most ardent Leonardo DiCaprio proud as Agility saying, please make it stop. Able to get away, though, at the very end.
That Inception reference was almost even too deep for me. I guess I need to rewatch Inception to get back up on this. Alright, so where are we at here? Kresnik has just made this map his own prior to this set. He's going to have Earthshatter up. They're going to have a boost. Aethan, he's just getting abused by Defran. Someone needs to protect these supports. Maybe do you run a McCree here? Just as a bodyguard?
Well, they do have a pretty good McCree player in the player of Grim Reality, so yeah, they could run a McCree here if he wants to go that, but we see Grim run McCree a lot less than he used to, so I don't know if it's something they're even comfortable in running anymore. Either way, here they go, and Kresnik drops the hammer, knocks down 2. Will it be enough? Sinatra looking for more. The blade out from Agilities doesn't quite do what he wants. Emong shuts him down, and it's somewhat even here, but it's sloppy as Immortals tries to take the point. They get onto it, and they do get the final 2 kills that they need.
I'm actually a little surprised that they got those kills. It seemed like they were mostly retreating back here, but Aethan actually clutched a really nice kill on Defran, who was looking for blood. It was just a D.Va and 2 supports on the point, which seems like something that the remainder of Selfless would have been able to clean up rather well. 76% on the board for Selfless as they try to get back in here and take this 4th stage and first map, and what do you know? Graviton's up again.
Grim Reality drops a pulse bomb, connects, takes down Dak early on. Immortals not going down here just yet. Now, Grim might have been off more than they could chew. Defran coming in, and Grim goes to his teammates for help. Does not want to continue that Tracer one-on-one, but as a result of his cowardice, he does live.
Something is the better part of valor. Alright.
Living is definitely the better part of winning Overwatch, as Sinatra drops a Grav in, picks up 2, and again, it's a quick strike. It's only 1 death from the Graviton, but it does the duty as Sinatra powered up here once more, picks up 3 kills, and that should be Selfless retaking.
Well, Agility's just going to try to be sneaky on the point. He's invisible for half a second, ends up getting the anti-nade onto him, can't deflect that, gets a case of tinnitus as he's launched off the cliff. Do you think that Genji really likes techno? Because that's like robot music, right?
I do think Genji likes techno. I hope that's not stereotyping. I hope that doesn't make me a bad person, but I could see Genji enjoying his techno. Either way, Immortals, final opportunity to flip this right back over. Dak holding onto the sound barrier, and he's going to drop it to neutralize the Transcendence coming out here, keeping Selfless alive even as the dive comes in. Agilities, though, has something to say. The Dragon Blade is out, gets 1, looks for more, finds Kresnik, dash resets for days, 3 kills for Agilities, and Immortals struggling to stay alive here on Lishon.
Well, they get a couple late kills. Defran and Emong try to equalize this up. It's just Defran now, and he will take out Nomi. Still alive, still messing with this team, and now the reinforcements are coming in much faster. Defran has notions of taking this for his team as the supports over there with him.
Immortals backs against the wall here. But they're holding on to the point. Grim has the pulse bomb, but here's the thing to look at. Sinatra, Graviton is out, and again, it's a one-man Graviton, but Verbo having the worst day will go down in that as a result, and Sinatra piling on. 3-2 in favor of Selfless. Oh no, did that just knock 2 people off? It certainly knocked 1 off as Selfless gets back in onto this point.
They've got some numbers now. A beautiful Earthshatter from Kresnik will put 2 on the ground who are unceremoniously swept up with that hammer. It is just hyped, and Nomi now on the stall out. The self-destruct will buy them a moment at least as Agilities dashes through Kresnik.
This is about as close as it gets, but Immortals not giving up here. Respawn's coming back in, and Agility's doing enough work, dashing through. 2 kills on his plate, and immediately busts out the blade. No hesitation once more. And Sinatra, the corner of death. Nothing awaited him. Hammer beating sword, but only for a moment. Still, Selfless not able to get back onto the point, and we are going to a decisive round number 5.
I mean, they're making it work. I mean, you have Defrom putting a lot of pressure on Ethan, and they are running Genji into triple tank, but they're still able to win that round, and that's even with them not winning that opening fight. Agility's had them all low. They don't push forward. He gets sword at the very end after they die. He maybe takes that, and they win much more defining fashion. I think they will stay. No, they're going to go back to Roadhog.
I don't know why. Agility's Genji's just been so good. Every hero that he's ran that... There we go. Okay, never mind.
And they got crushed on this map before, so you have to switch something up. You can't do what you did before, because they got bodied.
It's actually weird to me that Genji has fallen out of favor at times on this particular map, because it's a little bit in the past now, but I remember when Shadowburn really was making a name for himself as one of the best Genjis in the scene. It felt like his stomping grounds was Control Center, where every ridiculous Shadowbird montage came on this. We know Genji can be good here. Let's see if Agilities can maintain that tradition. The engage is in and immediately takes down Kresnik with the aid of Nomi. High value dashes coming in here as he dashes through 3.
It is nice, the trades do come out, but mostly for the side of Immortals, even though they lost Ethan pretty early on, which has been somewhat of a theme. They're focusing on Ethan really hard. It's not necessarily his fault that he's going down, but a really nice initiation there from Nomi and Hyped. Giving him the bubble. Nomi really plays much better when he's got a Zarya on his team. He needs the confidence to be saved by that Zarya. He needs to be able to play more aggressive. So I think this is the right composition for them if they want to get their best out of Nomi.
Well, there's a real surprise moment that could be coming out here. Nomi already almost has an Earth Shatter up. I don't think they're really expecting this. Takes down Dak with the Fire Strike, and now Secret Agent Nomi moving forward. I don't think Kresnik expects it. The hook comes in, and no, the Earth Shatter does not happen as a result. That could have been huge. Wasn't really. Plenty of tools here for Immortals, though. The Dragon Blade is out. Agilities is in. And Agilities is out as he is almost out of health, and Sinatra finishes him off.
He got bubbles, but it simply wasn't enough, and now it seems like Selfless does smell a little blood in the water. They will get grabbed right on the way in, but Hype unable to do anything as the counter grab came over the top and kept the remainder of his team in position.
Earth Shatter comes in from Nomi, only striking 1, shielded immediately, and this is a boosted Tracer coming in. Grim saying he's unstoppable, gets down 1, might be true, looking for Kresnik, diving right in.
I was hoping you were going to try the British accent that Tracer says that, and Iman will grab Grim Reality, so he is stoppable, and a beautiful Earth Shatter drops down 3, only charges 1 into the wall, but it should be enough. Hype looks to be on the retreat. He has 4 in here,
Agilities!
Brings it down.
What in the world? The long-range shurikens just pummeled Defran right to the noggin. There's no back button. His S key is broken as he relentlessly serves Selfless.
But, yeah, Genji's real hard, just WM1, am I right?
Good lord. Well, Immortals on the verge of taking Control Center off of this Genji play. The Dragon Blade is ready to be served. Selfless in a boatload of trouble. Agilities under pressure, and Sinatra just wanting to melt this Robo Ninja down, but the Dragon Blade in reserve, waiting to drop it in, still holding it off as Immortals rope-a-dopes this. But there's the blade, and he slept immediately. The problem has been dealt with.
It's a beautiful grab, though. Will pull 4 back in the corner, and Selfless not ready to give this up just yet. Although there's been a couple small mistakes by the friend. I don't know why Tracer's Pulse Bomb Zaryas without having ideal knowledge of their cooldown. Because he just Pulse Bomb Hyped and gave him an enormous amount of charge.
Hex, 50% of the time it works every time. That's the logic involved there.
Yeah, those aren't even Sex Panther stats. It's 60% of the time. Come on.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we don't want to plagiarize other fictional works, so that's what we're working with here. As Kresnik holding on to the Earth Shatter. Might not even use it. Grim runs afoul of Emong, and Selfless just gonna push Immortals back as Immortals, they back out.
Yeah, they have to, and Hyped is actually going to go down very late in that, and Sinatra got the kills there. Most of the ultimates now up for Selfless as they continue to tick forward here. Ryan game is going to be very, very important as we go forward. Both Earth Shatters up. And I think one of them might end up deciding this. Though Ryan's have been lackluster, there have been enormous Earth Shatters scattered throughout this tournament.
Kresnik is just waiting for it. You feel the tension in his hands as he grips the hammer right now. He wants a big Earth Shatter. Nomi, though, wants much of the same. 62% to 99%. Selfless fighting their way back into this. Plenty of ults in reserve to win this next fight, but this fight will be full of flash. Lots that's up, and Nomi ignores Kresnik and gets both the supports killed! No, Nomi! It's a good Earth Shatter, but Nomi opened that up. Agilities, perhaps, can maybe pull this back, but that is not going to happen.
Pretty brutal stuff there, and now the reinforced time on this stage is a little bit longer than some of the others. It's going to be hard for them to get back in here as it ticks up to 90. They should be able to get onto the point last fight, and Agilities has the blade. I think you boost him. You ride or die with him.
Well, we'll have to see. Sinatra drops a grab to the back, picks up at least one. Oh, Agilities on the nap. What a sleep from Michael 3D. And Immortals, they might be losing this map after all. They had a 99% to 0 lead, and Selfless has brought this back in an epic fashion. Hex, I can't believe this is happening, and yet, despite the great game Agilities have, it fades away. Selfless pushes Immortals off the point, and they take this first map.
I mean, you nano blade your Genji there. He dives in, and Michael 3D says, like, I can't watch stuff like that. Like
The Fly?
The Fly's cool. Like, you know that scene in the first King Kong movie where it's just all bugs? No. Yeah, I'm done with that.
Centipedes, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
Well, the first fight is underway, and Selfless taking it to Immortals once more. Immortals, they are running the fair, and actually, Immortals, they have 3 people at no health left remaining, just about. But they're not able to live. It's still going to be Selfless pushing it right back in.
Yeah, they all get very low. Sinatra is able to clean up most of that, though, but still the ground war is commencing. Now the respawns are going to come back in for Immortals as they died pretty early. A pulse bomb now goes on Sinatra, who just takes that, says thank you very much. I would enjoy that charge. I appreciate it, sir. As he's now going to come in with a very high-powered beam, still kind of just pushing each other back and forth as trades come out.
So, you see Selfless coming back in here. Neither team with full control, but Defran unchecked around the sides, able to take down 2. And looking for more.
Yep, ground war still going on. Defran getting a little better of that. Grim Reality is trying to take down Sinatra. Will finally find pay dirt there. They've gotten about 60% here, but it's still just a bloodbath on the point, a pixel apocalypse, if you will. The late sound barrier comes in to try to keep this in contention from Verbo, as most of the people coming back in. Now this is where it could start swinging over to Immortals, because they've got a resurrection.
Immortals does have way more bodies on the point here, but Verbo just shot in the back of the head by Defran as he piles in, and just like that, Selfless able to bring it right back as, I don't know what was going on with the rewind. Defran went through like 4 dimensions there, and yet Selfless, they get control of the point.
They had more bodies on the point past tense, and then a quick 3K comes out. So that was just as scrappy as it gets on the ground, and it was mostly like a 4v4 for the entirety of that fight. Oasis lends itself to these kind of elongated fights. And of course, the next thing to watch will be Athen and Resurrection as a possibility. They need to come in here, they like to get a couple kills, and then resurrect and give themselves a giant advantage. Maybe Barrage can help them do that.
Winston leaping right in. And Selfless with the early pick of Grim Reality, still in a great position here. It's 2 unanswered kills, and look at the defense matrix. Ruining Agile these days, stopping him from turning it back around. And Selfless still in firm control.
What's a nice pulse bomb takes down Emong there, so that's some of the meat on the ground taken out, but they used Resurrection and didn't even come out of that fight with an advantage because of it. Now all the tanks are getting cleaned up, Hype demeched and off. There goes Nomi, and Selfless is going to hold on to this. Just not the value you need out of your res, and so now they're going to switch. Athen off of it, Agilities goes back to Genji, might as well.
Well, Slasher might be paying respects right now, but we are still alive. It does appear like the net issues have been solved. Refresh the stream if need be, but things are where they need to be. Selfless also where they need to be, 72% 2-0, and a bit of an ult advantage to Booth. They're going to open up with the self-destruct here. Doesn't hit anything, but still, 5 versus 5. Great position to delay and still win this fight.
Athen's going to have nightmares about Defran. He's just going to see DAFRAN and neon lights in his head all night. He has been all over him. All over him. I'm starting to feel bad for him. That's how bad it's got.
I mean, the only thing I'll say about Immortals is that Defran has not been liberally using his crouch key like we've seen him in the past. He's just been killing them, so Defran is keeping it classy, if nothing else.
Ah, yes. Well, the grab will come in on Nomi, who had ambitions of getting back on the point. They just lock him out and now punch him out. He will eventually jump back in, trading out ultimates here. Nomi will finally go down. A lot of people very low. Ethan will fall as well. Gonna need a miracle from Immortals.
Agility's trying to stay alive here with no HP. It does! Catches Defran out in the worst of ways. Hyped with the explosion. There's still an option here. Yes, Grim takes down 2!
That's what they needed. That's both supports down. All of this damage is permanent. They should clean this up.
I can't believe Agility's lived there. He was down to 12 HP, but the deflection saves him. That said, let's not celebrate just yet here for Immortals. They are still in a rather tough situation.
Oh, there's absolutely no reason to celebration. You're not even considering buying balloons at this point. You have to do so much more work just to get this stage back. You have to be perfect. Defran's got Pulse Bomb, and if I'm Ethan, I'm sweating.
Well, Agilities, if he's gonna put the team on his back and have a big Dragon Blade, now would be the time. The call is now Agilities, and he has a Winston in his face. Still, healed up, new opportunity, 4 people clumped together. It's Agilities time, or is it? Still, Nomi's able to get to the back, grabs Michael 3D, and it's 3-1 in favor of Immortals, so they will be able to push this one back.
That was a very good zoning blade there. I'll give him the credit there. He actually lived through it too. And then Nomi comes in on the cleanup. You know, sometimes you just have to pull out the blade to scare people, and meanwhile Grim goes and just caps everyone on the head.
Look, it's intimidation at this point, and with how Agilities has been playing most of this set, I think they are well within their rights to lose a bit of battle control when you hear Agilities scream out that he's bringing out the Dragon Blade. That said, Sinatra, Graviton Surge is on the menu for this next fight, and we'll see just how he lands it. Could just be 1 person, could be 4, depends on how tilted he might be, but he's looking for it right now and really just fishing for supports and picks up both. It's a beautiful Graviton that forces out the Transcendence, but Defran doesn't care about the Transcendence. Takes down Verbo 4v4.
Defran doesn't care about much. If you are not a support who has a head box, then he's not really interested in who you are or what you have to offer. Sinatra will eventually go down. This sound barrier could be on the verge of closing it out, though. Hyped is going to have to get out of his mech suit. He's going to use the self-destruct to try to refresh himself there. I believe he did get back in it. Yes, he did. So the stall will remain on as both tanks getting back in here. They do need another miracle. Agilities has played. Here it comes.
Agilities moving in. Dragon Blade is out. Has a Diva in his face, but will carve right through that mech armor. Swift strike to finish it out. And Immortals might just be bringing this back. It's still close. Defran and Sinatra still in play, but so is Agilities and Grim. That said, Sinatra finding Grim early on. Not under pressure here in the corner. Very close between the two.
Yeah, Defran is able to get some work going there. Sinatra is able to take out the D-Max Hype. Here comes a Primal Rage, though, so should buy a little bit of time. Agilities ends up falling to Kresnik to some headshots. Grim's going to need one of these amazing Pulse Bombs to close it out, but it's been overtime so long that Wick burns fast, and Selfless will take stage 1.
Score 1-0.
New look from the side of Selfless with the Emong Monkey. I think it's just standard on this map, though. I don't know if it's so much that it's them wanting to run it, or if it's just we know that we can run these heroes and they'll delay the point for as long as possible. That said, though, Agility is Genji. I mean, just keep giving him the rock, man. Like, he's putting in so much work, but sometimes it's just not enough, it seems.
Sinatra's Zarya here? No way, right?
Are you gonna tell him to switch, Rod? Are you gonna go and just go Sinatra switch?
I mean, he's
Because
playing so well, but like of all the maps, this is like the least played for Zarya. I guess he feels like, and they all do that.
Maybe
They're
the
just giving
Fran
it away.
puts really hard when he plays 76 into Diva, so he just doesn't even want to give him the hero. But with the
you never
Fran-
know. Either way, Selfless certainly going more ground and pound here. Agilities, he can go anywhere. He's a Genji. Climb the walls, dash in, whatever it may be, and they certainly force Emong back early on, but he gets healed up. Michael 3D on point with the support there, and Selfless staying as a unit, throwing themselves back, and they find Grim, who is on the flank. So already Immortals in a bit of a tough shape here, as Selfless now counter pushes right back in.
Well, that's a phrase I'm used to seeing in the kill feed. Defran takes down Athan, finds Agilities towards the end too, and man, I was feeling bad most of the day for Reinhardt's, and now I'm just starting to feel really bad for Zenyatta's. It is constant pressure from these Tracers.
And for Selfless, they're in a great position now. Defran will have the Pulse Bomb up in just a moment for this next fight. And I will say, if nothing else, if you look at Immortals, they're going to have to clutch pretty heavily on agilities to have a big Dragon Blade to crack through this, the way Selfless is playing. They are clumping up rather heavily. Downside is you are more likely to get slashed to bits by a blade. Look at that, Defran just wins a Tracer v Tracer clean.
Well, I think we are in the phase of the game where people are stopping playing the heroes that run towards the composition, and Ethan's just had enough. He's going to go towards the Ana anyway, which I think is really smart, because if you're going to run agilities on his comfort hero of Genji, then why not give him the boost too?
We were so close to having a game free of crouching over an opponent's corpse, and yet, Defran desecrating agilities in his most vulnerable of moments. Agilities will have the Dragon Blade up for the next fight, Hex, so revenge could be on the menu.
You wait for the boost, and you try to get going here. It's been their most effective option, and Michael's going to have to sleep him again.
Well, there is no nano boost in play here, and might not be needed. Michael 3D is down. The sound barrier stymieing agilities, but not stopping him from getting at least one man. Meanwhile, Defran is a beast. No one is stopping him in the back. 2 kills here, and poised for more. He's the raid boss that, for now, Immortals is not dealing with.
He's running wild, and Grim hasn't checked him enough. You don't have to win the Tracer v Tracer, just put a little damage on him, make him use his rewind, make him use some abilities. He's just completely free right now. And
also,
yeah, go ahead.
I would like to remind the stream here that if you are getting an audio delay, please refresh the stream. The Comcast Nation attacked, but everything is fine now, so long as you get a fresh stream feed.
Yeah, Shift F5 there if you would like, and they are just going to boost in Nomi to try to get to this backline. He gets an anti-heal, but they will combine to take out Michael. Meanwhile, though, Sinatra says anything you can do, I can do better. Takes out both supports.
Selfless piling on all angles, but I don't know what more you could say here aside from Defran, and also Defran. It was very good tank play from Emon, don't get me wrong, but what more can you ask from a Tracer than what we've seen from Defran in this particular round?
He's been hungry like a wolf and just absolutely crushing it. Oh wait, that's Duran. Never mind. That's a terrible joke anyway. They are going to go up 2-0 on Oasis, and not even close was that one. There was not a moment where that one felt in doubt.
I mean, if things are bad for Immortals, they're only going to get worse, as this is the best round for triple tank and Zarya play, and this could be the series right here.
Yeah, you question the Zarya play, but they wound up just holding the front door the entire time, so it kind of paid off. I mean, I think if they had lost the initial engage, it might have gone a little differently, but having the Zarya to shove them in, though. I will say that Ethan did redeem some, I don't know what the word is, some honor for some of the Defran BM by sleep darting Sinatra at the end there and then taunting over his corpse as they lost that round, but take every small victory you can get out there.
I guess.
I mean, the moral of the story here is that you have your games that are played on the field, and then you have your mind games that go a step above. Either way, if you're looking at the field or shenanigans involved, Selfless probably winning on both fronts. Certainly winning on one of the fronts, which is the game. They're up 2-0, match point for Selfless.
Well, the brawl starts out in the room, and Emong is the first to fall in that. That's going to make a lot of people much more comfortable on the side of Immortals, as Hook no longer an option for them to have to deal with. Hyped is just bullying his way in, trying to crush the front door all by himself, but now both Roadhogs down.
5v5 here, but look at Sinatra, supercharged up, 90 energy. It's gonna be difficult to come back in with the damage Grim has done to the backline, but this is how Sinatra builds up ultimates in a crazy rate. Hyped is down, and this is again what Selfless does. They lost a bunch of people, but they still kept poking, even as they were retreating just a bit.
Yeah, and they're going to have full forces a little bit faster, too. I like this transition, though, from Immortals to bring in Grim Reality, who can maybe deal with the Tracer a little better than he did on the Tracer, and then Agility stuff. Always threaten that hook. Sinatra gets boosted.
A little bit razzle-dazzle there from Doc, dodging the hook as he went along the wall. And Selfless able to flip this right back, and Emong being the star there. Really the off-tank play between Sinatra and Emong being very powerful in this particular round. It hasn't been all Defran like the last round was.
Not at all, and that's always a good sign for these teams. You can't just have one carry because it's so easy to shut down. Speaking of, Defran does get taken down, but here comes a grab on the steps right away. Is there the follow-up for it? Does not appear so, but they will sound very delayed, even though Sinatra's down.
Ethan was right there with the Bionade, kept everyone nice and healthy, but Immortals still getting zoned pretty far off this point. The whole hog not really suffering fools, and certainly not suffering Immortals diving in from that angle. Still though, the Graviton up from Hyped. He's out for blood, and Selfless conceding a lot of ground for being selfless, where they don't usually do this.
I'm kind of just wondering where Michael's Bio Grenade was on that Graviton, because I thought they were going to be able to clean it up. A double Earth Shatter from Kresnik. The grab will come in over top. Yeah.
Grim there at the follow through, picks down 2, 1 Helix Rocket, 2 kills. Agility's there at the follow through, but Selfless still gets to walk away from that with 55% progress. Not the best in terms of ults going into the next fight, but they can throw a fight away and still be relatively even on progress, so this match certainly coming down to the wire.
Well, some signs of life at the very least for Immortals here. And it's going to be interesting to see where the boost goes for Selfless. Who do you want to have the ult fastest? It could go to any one of the tanks. Sinatra's been the primary target for it, but so far just kind of getting a little pressure on the point. Shield battle commences. Nomi's got to be careful, finds himself a little far out. The attack visor goes off.
Get in there.
Attack visor comes in, Grim chewing through things with the nano boost. Looking for just a little bit more as Defran runs for his life. And all the while, Immortals holding on to the point.
Well, here comes a late grab. It does get both supports, so now Nomi out in no man's land as he gets dunked on by Doc, who just rollerblades over his corpse. Something akin to a 90s movie, I'd imagine, and they will fit that back over.
I'm just more confused by the part where not only did Selfless take that, but there was a splash sound effect when Grim jumped off. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
There's probably water down there somewhere.
Oh, there is absolutely water. He is swimming with the fishes right now. If he didn't just respawn, which he absolutely did.
Well, we're getting down to the last fight. Immortals has to win this or this set's over.
Immortals, backs against the wall. They do not have a round to give. They must begin the reverse sweep here. But Defran blows up Nomi early on, applying even more pressure to Grim here. Has to make something happen sooner rather than later. 88% for Selfless. They're still in full control. Immortals struggling to get the engage they need. Agilities and Hyped coming in off the flank. They're gonna get pick-off Hex. It needs to come now.
It's going to be extra rough for them because when they start throwing bodies on the point, Verbo's going to be down. That area of effect healing now down. A whole hog will come out and push everyone off. That was going to be the difficult part of it. Agility's trying to carry though, and the late grab comes in. Immortal still in this.
Grim and Agilities doing what they need to do there at the end. And it was also a beautiful sleep dart to set up the kill onto Defran. So Ethan getting his pound of flesh. Still though, this round will come down to one final fight. Immortals taking a more aggressive posture here. They want to end this round strong, but if they're too aggressive, Kresnik and Sinatra will have the tools to punish them. And Earth Shatter is coming up. So is a Graviton. Immortals must navigate this minefield of tank ultimates if they wish to stay alive and in this series.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Kresnik first to come up, still holding on to the Shatter. Nomi, you cannot charge in this situation. The Shatter comes down and hits one. The Graviton is there as well, but the fall through isn't there, and Nomi with the beautiful charge into Kresnik. Immortals 6v5, but now 4v4 as the fight breaks down.
It's getting really sloppy on the point. It is just 3v3. Doc, who's in a weird position, getting very aggressive, finds himself in the middle of 3 and pays for it. Now the charge is going to come and take down Sinatra. Immortals not dead yet.
What a weird round. I don't know, Ethan kind of bombed his nano boost at the end there. They had a pretty good Graviton from Hyped, and then they nano boosted Grim Reality's aimbot at the very end, but there was nothing left for him to shoot, and they didn't have it for the last fight. I think that they should start nanoing Hyped more, though, if he's going to be playing the Zarya with that much charge. I think that that's a big part of why Selfless is coming out ahead a lot.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Selfless had the tools in that last fight to retake the point and the win. They had 3 ults. Mike 3D, Sinatra, and Kresnik all had ult, and none of them did anything.
Yeah, they threw out a Graviton on both tanks, but I think the Pulse Bomb hit the Roadhog, who was animated and healed through it, and Nomi actually charged out of the Graviton and got a pin on to Kresnik.
All right, well, back into the city center here. Immortals still looking to stay alive, not off the hot seat here just yet. Match point still in play for Selfless as they look to put this one away.
Well, different composition here from Immortals as they got punked on this stage earlier and the Zarya just camped their front door, so instead they're going to take to the skies. Agilities and Ethan representing the Pharmacy combo.
Defran can take the boost pad up. All paths are open to him, and that is one way of getting in on numbers, and he does! Ethan goes down! Just when you think you're safe from Defran, the anti-air tracer coming in huge.
Oh, that's so silly and so beautiful at the same time. Agilities will end up getting him on the payback, but that is small solace for his fallen friend Ethan.
Did you guys know Tracer can fly? Tracer has learned how to fly. Scary times.
As harsh times we live in here. It's like if scorpions developed wings.
Dear God.
Exactly.
Some people have to sleep tonight, Hex.
Not
It's in
anymore, you
ZP's
know.
room.
Yeah, no, I'm already dealing with an insect problem, Hex. This is too much. Still, 8th Defran dunked on. Deleted by Agilities. 1 damage boosted rocket, all it took. Immortals diving in. There's the barrage. Michael 3D removed. And Agilities gonna get punished as Sinatra carries the slack. Comes up with 2 and looks for more.
It's pretty smart where they're fighting. They're fighting completely out of range of this. They're forcing Agilities to come in over the side and use the barrage. It's not ideal situation, so they're not really pressuring the issue. They're in control of the point. They fully understand that, so they're just gonna fight under the ceiling there.
Diva playing in traffic! I hyped wanted that to happen, mind you, but we don't catch that on camera too much. Kids, don't play in traffic. It's a bad idea.
Look both ways. Wear a helmet all the time.
Well, Selfless with firm control of the point, 71% to 0. Immortals running out of time, running out of chances if they want to stay alive in the series. Remember, at stake is their berth into the upper round. If they lose, into the lower round they go. Self-destruct coming up here from Hyped. Will connect. It does not. It's Sinatra and Kresnik connecting instead. The resurrection is out there, so Immortals gets one more crack at this.
The grab caught 3 early, but one more crack right into a self-destruct from Selfless, and they are looking to close it out. Ethan now down. They are in desperation mode. They are looking for a miracle. Hype gets poked out. Grim eats the nade.
And Selfless finishing it out strong, removing Immortals from the point and removing their chances of going into tomorrow in the upper bracket. Selfless finishes out the group stage 3-0.